How can a figure this big and this awesome and this articulated be only $35? I don't know, but let's open it up, check it out, and of course, do some toy photography. Take a look at this guy. This is a big boy right here. This is the Marvel Legends Venompool by Hasbro, and man, this guy is huge and he looks incredible, and I'm so excited to open this guy up, and he looks so cool. So actually, the Venompool was actually previously available as a Build-A-Figure. You know, when you buy the whole wave of figures, you get a piece, you put them together, and then boop, there you go, you get your Build-A-Figure. But now, you can buy him as its own figure in this beautiful giant packaging, which is really awesome, and I was able to pre-order him and get him on time because I follow Dan Yun on Twitter, who's like one of the Marvel Legends marketers over at Hasbro, and he went ahead and posted, hey, this is going to be on pre-order on this date, and he did also say it's going to be available in stores in Target after like October 6th or something. So keep an eye out in Target because you're gonna be able to see this guy. Keep checking, have hope. Every time you go into Target, go down the aisle and check. You never know, you might find him. I'll also put the link in the description that I used to buy this, and I'll have the link to follow him on Twitter or whatever too if you want to go and check him out. It's a great way to stay informed for sure, to make sure you don't miss out on this, and I try to post them too when I get the heads up too on my community tab, so make sure you're subscribed for that as well too. Of course, if you're into this kind of thing, especially Deadpool, that kind of stuff, I've got a ton more Deadpool content coming out. I've been putting out a ton of other Deadpool action figure content since the movie has come out, so if you're into that kind of thing, I would definitely recommend subscribing. Please do. It will obviously help me out a lot, and I don't think you'd regret it. I think you'd be happy to see some of the great videos I've got on the channel right now. So please, thank you so much. That would be amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So you know what I just realized? We just had a Deadpool movie, and later on this month, we're getting a Venom movie. And here we are opening up a Venom Deadpool, a Venompool. That's kind of cool. I don't think that was planned by any means, but here we are. Perfect. Man, all right, here he is. He's just as big and heavy as you would have thought he is. He's very, very heavy. There's definitely been a lot of older big figures like this in the past that have had like kind of hollow insides, and he's probably a little bit hollow, but he's heavy. Those shoulders are massive. Whoa. Huge, and yeah, like a little bit top heavy, but really not a problem standing up, so that's pretty cool. But what an awesome figure this is. He's just a giant, mega massive looking Deadpool Venom guy. Like, definitely a wonderful figure to own. Just look at this thing. He's also got like a really cool texture over all of the red here, and it looks really great. And I'm just kind of noticing now that, because I've never read a comic where Deadpool gets some symbiote, but I'm just noticing the black on the costume is just the symbiote kind of skin, and all of the red is just stapled on, so it looks like his costume and the red and black. Like, that's really cool. Like, that's a really fun kind of design, and I never knew that. And it's very visible on his face with his eyes and stuff. That's super cool. He's got these cool kind of chains on his wrists and on his ankles, so he definitely broke out of something. So hopefully to all the people very familiar with this character from the comics, I hope you're very happy with it because he looks awesome. He certainly does. He does come with a few accessories, not a crazy amount. Pretty decent for a Marvel Legend, I would say. And I kind of want to go through those now just so I can get them on his body. So first is his little sword scythe, which just pop it on there. Yeah, here we go. The plastic is a little bit softer on the strap itself, so you should just be able to kind of pop it in there. There we go, and now it's in. Cool, you gotta use a little bit of force to get that in there, but it's not so bad. And then you can just kind of put his swords. Beautiful. Good looking Venompool. So the hands he's got on now are for holding the swords. Just pop them right in there. They go in quite well, actually. The fact that he is kind of so big is kind of making things easier because it makes him kind of more simple. And there he goes, holding those swords all nice and proud. All right, getting a little bit of, this is a great figure. Look at that. That is awesome. That is so freaking cool. I guess these hands can kind of work as a fist too. They're kind of close to being a fist. That actually kind of works. So you should be able to pop this off. This does come off and can be removed. And you've got these other mean looking normal Venom hands. Look pretty good. Awesome. I will say too, just the process of switching out the hands is really nice. Popped in and out, and now it's solidly in there. Hasbro's been doing this a while. I think they know what they're doing. Man, this is an awesome freaking action figure. Okay, well, what's the deal with articulation with this thing? I did kind of get a taste of it before. As far as elbow goes, like, okay, that wasn't supposed to happen, but that's all right. But as far as elbows go, you do have a nice 90-degree angle, which is good. Not a lot of figures actually get that far, especially something this chunky. And you are able to get basically a T-pose, kind of. Maybe if you bring it, yeah. It's kind of just like a big muscular Marvel Legend, but bigger. You got some ab crunch going on in there. Look at that. Double jointed knees. Wow. Look at this. I'm so impressed with the articulation on this thing. I mean, the arm did pop out for a second, but that was just a quick pop out, you know. The head has a lot of movement. If you look at this head here, there's all this whole range of motion. The head is actually kind of a softer plastic, which I think does lend to being able to get a little more movement. Wow. This is a really great figure. I'm so impressed with the articulation. I was not expecting this at all. This is like better than a Mondo figure, which is like just about as thick or even thicker in some spaces. I also really want to make sure I take a second to just appreciate and admire the sculpt of this figure. Yeah, the face itself is incredible, but the entire figure has detail all over it that's really impressive. Like, not just with, you know, the paint, but just the sculpt in general. There's just tons of detail. Like, this is one of the coolest Marvel Legends figures I feel like I've opened up in a long time. Okay, well, he is a tall guy, but how tall is he exactly? Looks like about 8, maybe slightly taller than 8. I guess if you're measuring by his swords, he's like exactly 8, so maybe exactly 8. Here he is compared to one of the older Marvel Legends, Venom, from a few years back. This is definitely not, you know, the most recent one. Huge improvements, just like the way he looks with the massive shoulders and all of that is just way cooler. And he really kind of makes this guy look small. And this is another one of those figures where you can just feel the hollowness like in the plastic, in the torso, and you know, the amount of movement and stuff is nothing compared to this. Like, it's crazy how far they've come in just a few years. Here he is compared to a Marvel Legends Captain America, and here he is compared to the SH Figuarts Deadpool, and then this is him compared to the CT Toys bootleg of the Mayfix Black Suit Spider-Man. This guy is quite the hulking figure, no pun intended. I feel like we can't even do like the normal W or L with this guy. It's just like W or like Super W, really. It's just like everything about this figure is really great. The sculpt and the way it looks is just so like jarring. You look at it and you're like, whoa. You know, it's striking. It really is like a striking looking action figure. And the fact that it's only $35 for this, it's huge. It's like the size of it, and you get a few accessories, interchangeable hands. The articulation is surprisingly so good considering how massive it is. And you know, it's just a really well done action figure. I can't see any flaws at all with this figure. Absolutely none. It's just awesome. And the fact that it's only 35 bucks is just a huge win. Please write W in the comments. I don't know how anyone could put an L, but man, let me know what you think, W or L, even though it's just a big fat W. Like, holy crap. And man, this is gonna be a great shooting and reviewing video with this guy. I can't wait to shoot this figure. Gotta do something crazy big action packed with this thing. Let's go and do it. Come on, buddy. Okay, so I'm out here in the middle of downtown Cohoes, New York. Nothing special, but I've got a little something set up down here. So I forgot my microphone, so hopefully my audio will sound okay, but I've got Venompool over here holding a ripped in half bottom torso half of Deadpool, and the other bottom half is kind of falling onto the ground, and it's gonna look cool in a photo. And as you can tell, like, see how dark that was, and now how light it is? That is my light reflector. Makes a huge difference. Dark, light. Get yourself one of these, it's in the description. It's amazing, especially harsh daytime lighting like this, amazing. So my goal is to use a bunch of fake blood, which this is really just food coloring and water. It works really great. And I'm gonna do something really similar to what I did in a Homelander photo I did recently, but I'm gonna take the straw and grab some red blood, drop it over his torso, and it's gonna splash down, and hopefully it'll look like a big bloody mess of Deadpool being ripped in half. And this is actually the bootleg Deadpool that I did a video on recently, which I'm more than happy to rip in half and get dirty and bloody because it's a boot. It cost me 12 bucks or something. Definitely go watch that video, by the way. So shooting in this harsh, really strong sunlight is perfect for stuff like this because with all of this extra light and stuff, it looks cool, first of all, I think, but also it gives me the opportunity to crank up my shutter speed on my camera and get really crisp action kinds of shots. So here are my settings. My shutter speed's at 3200, which is very fast and probably a little bit too fast, but that's okay. If I've got the light, why not? Crank it up. My aperture is at 2.5, which is definitely low enough to get that nice, clean and blurry background, which I love. And my ISO is at 400 as always, so the shutter speed is really what's driving this photo right now. And there's that blue car in the background, which is making a really strong blue piece of bokeh right there, which is kind of cool, actually. We'll see how that turns out in the end. So my hands are gonna be very busy with my light reflector and holding the straw. So I'm gonna have to set a timer on my camera, and the timer will take a burst of tons of photos, like 10 or 5 at once, and I'll just drop the blood and keep doing it over and over again until I get something good. And that's really it. That's the whole shot. So I'm gonna get this thing ready and take this photo. Hopefully it comes out good. I honestly still don't know how the heck Hasbro was able to put this figure out for only $35. Like, did somebody screw something up somewhere? Like, for all the Hasbro haters, there's no room to hate on this one. It's just incredible. It's so good. If you did enjoy the video, thank you so much for getting this far into it, by the way. Please consider just liking it and subscribing to the channel. I've got so much more to come. And this photo, as always, will be posted on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter, all of that stuff. Make sure to follow all of my work over there as well. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.